Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. You watch podcasts now, so head over there and search at Tom and Dan Live.
I know we've been telling you over and over, but our Beer Fest and Sofa and Suds is this weekend.
Woo.
And to talk about that, we have Dom and Paul on the couch. How you guys doing?
Not this couch isn't going to be rolling this weekend. But,
No,
actually, you guys should put wheels on this one and bring it out.
That would be funny.
Well,
I mean, I would be willing to do it. Except
All the fart stains on this thing.
That arm right there on the left arm it's compromised.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's been compromised from all the comedians that sat on it.
When it's time for this one to go, you have to put it in the race.
Yeah,
Oh,
we will.
yeah,
100%. 100%. It's light too, so it'll move.
Yeah.
I think it'll go.
Well, we are racing this Sunday. Big thanks to BDM Josh for tweaking our couch this year. He said that
Which Josh? Josh who?
he's BDM Josh. That's what I know him as.
I mean, you're putting Tom on the spot. We don't know last names of anybody.
What are everybody doing
Josh.
this to me? They're like, Josh,
Why are you
who?
doing this?
I got this name right.
How are
And
his
yes,
kids?
It's like,
ask
it's like
him.
Cher.
It's BDM Josh. I only know people from what their name and their phone is, or my phone.
Or what they do.
Yeah.
Well, BDM Josh, if you're out there on Sunday, come find me. I'll buy you a drink.
There you go.
Like a super villain Dom in my phone. It's been in there for 20 years.
How many
super villain Dom?
How many crazy do not answers do you have in your phone?
I never.
you
I
have
never.
one.
What?
Well,
Do not answer?
it may not be labeled "Do Not Answer," but there's only one person that if they call, you go ah, and it's Cliff from Orlando Weekly.
Actually, that's funny.
You have one too, don't
I
you?
used
Is
to
it
have
Cliff?
an Orlando Weekly, and it said I put it in there as Sir Calls a lot.
Yes, Sir Calls. That's Cliff. Shout out to Cliff. That guy's good, man. He'll go.
Yeah.
He goes hard in the paint.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
He'll dial you down, and next thing you know, you're paying $800 for a full page ad for absolutely nothing. Wow. Shout out to Cliff, though.
Oh man, I went hard on Orlando Weekly. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was probably like 5 to 7 years ago. They did one of those like clickbait pieces about how Sanford was the most dangerous city in America or something.
Oh yeah.
I remember that. Yeah,
And
yeah,
I did we did a party where we had everybody bring their Orlando Weeklies up. We burned them in a trash barrel.
Oh,
the
then I
old
love that.
burn.
Oh yeah.
I was mad, dude. I was
That's a little
mad
borderline,
that day.
but I'll accept it.
I've
All
always,
right.
you know what I've always wanted to be part of, and I can't. My mom is a librarian, very free speech.
A
so
book burning?
No, close.
Jesus, what am I doing here?
I want to put all the CDs in a pile and drive over them with a steamroller.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to do that.
Have you seen
always
the
wanted to do
clip
that.
of the dad that gets mad at his son and runs over all his video games with the lawnmower?
I'd like to do that too.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that too. I think destroying things with I think destroying like media forms
Yeah.
with vehicles is awesome.
Now,
The only thing I've done, and I
do you
did
want
this
to be
when I was
mad
on
when
the
you do that, or is
Monsters.
it satisfying when you do that? Are you going to be pissed when you do it? Like, no,
No, I'm gonna enjoy. I'm gonna be joyous.
be like
I'm
smiling
gonna be
real
joyous.
big.
I've
Yeah.
only done one thing like that when I was on the Monsters. I drove a Gibson truck from Gibson Truck World through a wall of cheese balls. Remember that?
No, I was not on the show.
Yeah,
I did that.
I had a wall of jumbo cheese balls, and I drove right through it.
Back in the day, Dom and I destroyed a Samsung TV in the West End venue just because I was drunk.
Yeah,
You went like heavy office space on that
Yeah.
thing,
But
dude.
those
I don't
days
know
are
why.
over. You
That's
know.
when TVs were expensive, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now-
so you were actually doing something.
I don't even know
Yeah.
why it happened. We just
I was drunk.
Yeah,
that
raging.
was that.
You were raging.
So
Famous story.
let's talk first Beer Fest. We're telling everybody, get there at noon. We got free sample cups. First 500 will get a gift bag, which we loaded yesterday. And then we got live music starting at 2. So we're telling everybody, get your sample cup, enjoy West End, Celery City.
Go explore Sanford a bit.
Who's playing?
Leilani is playing after the Beer
After
Fest.
so I'm saying, there's DJ all day, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
DJ and then
Silver Lining Band.
We booked this band called the Silver Linings
Okay.
Band. They play
Hey, I
cover.
like how you're promoting our show before the actual show.
No,
That's great. Leilani Wolfgram will be in the venue after the show.
I thought you were quizzing me again, Paul.
No, this is
I was
great.
ready
This
for
is
I knew
any-
there was
good.
a DJ in the day. I didn't know there was a band.
I thought
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
doing like, what's Josh's last name? You make me nervous, Paul.
Tom, you don't have to get so flustered. He's a nice guy.
No, I know, but
He's
I
all
want to
right.
be pure business
He's
and
in
know
go
everything.
mode, man. He's got details floating
I
around
have
in
been
there.
lately, too.
Yeah, I know. We
Yeah.
talked about it a little bit on text. It's like my brain is not working. He parked.
don't wanna
He
fail.
parked a full mile down the street.
Because
Am I not supposed to talk about
No,
that?
I was just thinking about all the things. I was like, this, and I just parked.
He
and
parked
then
like literally a mile down the
Ooh.
street, and then I see him walking.
When you have a
back.
thought and you're walking around, how do you make a note for yourself?
I email myself.
You're old like me, man. This is the old man thing to do. It's the same. That's the equivalent of like having a picture and then screenshot it to blow it up to get like a better view of it.
Yeah, I do that too.
But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
older
yeah.
than both of you, and then when I have a note, I'm like, oh, that'll be good, and I go, I'll remember it, and I
No, you
never
won't.
do.
You never do.
I never do.
You
That's
guys
why I never
don't
have any ideas.
notepads on your phones. What's the matter with you?
But I'll write things down, but I never
Yeah,
go back.
I
to
do
them.
have a
Look at it.
notepad on my phone, and then I'll put it in there, and then I'll forget that there's a
Yeah.
notepad on my phone.
Yes,
too.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if I email myself, I have to go deal with it. I have to check it, you know?
crazy. I
Oh,
got
to
like
see that it came
17
through.
emails
Because I'm
since
the
I've
type
been
of
sitting
person
here.
that can't let emails stay in my inbox. I have to deal with it and
get
delete it.
Yeah, get it away.
I can't.
Oh,
if I let
delete
them,
it?
if I let them build up, and I don't deal with them, then shit falls through the cracks.
He's never deleted an email. This guy.
Not
He's
once in
Not
my
even
entire
one
life.
time.
You know what?
No.
Google Mail will make you after years.
Sure.
Like if you have over 10 or 14,000, whatever either you pay for more storage or you have to go
Let me
back
tell you
and
something.
delete it page by page.
Let me tell you
I have to
something.
do it
Money.
once a year.
Let me tell you something. This is the difference between
Half
you
an
and
hour.
me. I don't let Google tell me what to do.
Yeah,
They
I don't
turned
do
it off
that.
one time.
I'm not afraid of any company.
you can take your G Suite.
All right.
Yeah.
So
It's
Take
just
that
an
G
extra
Suite.
99 cents a month, brother.
no, it's like $4.95.
yeah, it was a lot.
And then it's like I'm gonna forget about this and pay for this until I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk sofas.
You
and
just
suds.
described subscription.
That's what we want. That's how we're still making a living.
They
Paul.
make you go month to month and pay every month, and I'm not doing that.
So let's talk sofas and suds. So we've got all the 16 different couches racing this year.
We got any new teams that you guys
There
like
are some new
that
teams.
you saw and you were like, not to put you on the spot, but you were like, what is that?
yeah, no, I got you. I know Chronic Guru that's in town. They're going to be there.
Want to see the fastest couch in all of Sanford? Ain't that right, Allie? When you're on here looking for soup du jour, or excuse me, for old du jour.
Be like, I've heard you talk more than my wife.
Wow.
It
dad joke.
really is, and it
Right
might be
down
written
low.
in my phone. I gotta get a photo with that dude.
Yeah.
I gotta get a photo, and with Allie.
So they
is
have a
Allie gonna
couch.
be there?
He's the new appliance director.
Yeah, he is. He is. If you put a knee brace on, like the lady, the appliance direct man, he used to have the lady was the counterpart.
Yes, dude.
She would wear the knee brace because all the appliances were scratch and dent. Nobody
When
ever
I
got
first
that.
moved to Orlando, I would be up like drunk in the middle of the night, and that commercial would be on 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, why is there an entire channel dedicated to this appliance direct guy? Like, what's going on here?
I bought a Westinghouse, like one of those super digital. It was the nicest appliance I ever had in my little crap house right behind Park Ave CDs over
Yeah.
here. That little 990 old, just the house is like 1941 or something, just garbage. But I bought the most sophisticated dishwasher you could buy at the time from that spot because it had a big dent in the front. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah,
And I bought that thing. Man, I still wish I had that dishwasher. That thing it had a grinder in the bottom of it. So when it would blow the food out, the food would go into the grinder and it would grind the food out. It had a garbage disposal inside of it.
That's awesome.
Freaking awesome, dude.
Back to after the beer fest, Leilani
Yes.
is playing at
What's
the
her
West
last
End.
name?
Wolf Graham.
Yeah. So I knew it. I had it with Chambers.
Good.
I knew it was Wolf something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Wolf Amada about
Those
Her name is
those
Leilani.
tickets are selling too. So grab those if you want to go to that show. Grab those before it does sell out. She's pretty awesome.
Oh,
You
she's
guys don't
amazingly
remember her.
talented.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had her in
if
on
you guys
the-
don't know who Leilani is, she's related to Zach and Nash
Horizon
from
guys.
Horizon, and
Okay.
she's dabbled in and out of that band for a while. She's really talented. Supervillains kind of did some stuff with her back in the day, and
Yeah,
I've known
she's
her for
great.
years and years. So
She's married to the lead singer of Soja.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that.
We had
So.
is it?
I like it. Hopefully you got it wrong. Start some reggae beef.
Sojo Wolf Graham.
They're working it out. They're working it out.
They were together.
They
They
were
were
live.
together. They
I don't-
were
I
together.
don't know if they're still together.
We don't know if they're still together, but who does? Who
Allegedly.
knows? Who knows any of that? Because
Allegedly.
life is just one big crazy.
The last show she
time.
played at West End, he was with her. And And yeah, so
There you go.
Yeah.
That fixed it.
Oh, yeah. We didn't have to dwell so much about Lonnie's personal life.
Oh, boy.
You buy a ticket and ask her at the show.
Yeah, you could. You
Are
could
you
do
married?
that. I bought this
So
ticket
that
and
show,
I have a few questions.
we're starting that show a little early, so it's not a super long night for
All right.
for everybody. So we would normally do that show at 10 or 11 o'clock. I think the doors are 7, starting at 8.
It's yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Doors are 7.
So with Sofas and Suds this year, I feel like with the weather, and I was up in St. Augustine, where, Paul was up there too for the Aver brothers.
Oh, you should have said hi to Paul.
I heard we were at this bar eating lunch, and I heard people talk about Sofas and Suds.
You were at
there's-
Cafe Risque, right?
Overheard
This guy and his wife, they love to pop into Cafe Risque, and then they pick up some young girl that doesn't really know that they like to do that. They like to do that.
I was just saying that.
Because I like to tell the truth. I don't know. Why would I say that? I mean, why would you do that? I don't know.
And
It's weird to sit there and eat your eggs while you're looking at the girl dancing on a TV screen.
so I heard people talk about it, and then
Is it weird?
It's a little weird.
Yeah,
I
it
used
is
to,
weird,
I
Paul.
used to have. I went to
Yeah.
Flagler College in St. Augustine, so I used to know a lot of girls that worked there, and I had a couple friends that worked there, and we would go in there as a joke to eat breakfast, and then we would watch them on the TV screen. And it's weird. It is.
Well-
It seems very post-apocalyptic. Like the girls have to be in a warehouse and they're dancing all like off-site, and you're like, "Where are they? You know,
Well,
like, is this closed circuit? What the hell's happening?" here?
You just can't help but ask yourself, if all things were equal, I bet this girl would rather not do this for a
Right?
living.
Yes. Yeah. There's
It
that.
sounds
yeah.
like a Saw
Yeah.
movie.
You're also eating your food, and then you look over to the right, and there's a wall of like plastic ding dongs, like you can buy
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
truckers.
that is
I can't believe that after all these years, I've passed that pace. Going on tour.
Well, you
and
should- you should take the band in
a
there, dude.
million times and never not.
I
one
thought that's
time.
what being in a band was for. You stop at the dumb stuff, and you're like, "Look at us, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
upper decker," and then
Especially
you
now,
rave.
you got to go to like the Busy Bee or something, bro. That's where it's at for us. We're like,
Yeah.
oh look, they've got jarred eggs over there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
us.
yeah. You hit up the.
Who wants to look at boobs when you can go have a quail egg that's been sitting in fermented pee for a while?
Yeah, no, I don't need that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what I was going to ask you, Paul?
Yes.
And I've gone back and forth. This is a stupid detail that I think about that keeps me from sleeping at night. When we hang the race banner for the advertisers, should we hang it lower so people sitting down in front of the track can see over? Because we hang it at the, like,
Oh, sorry, that's
So-
not. That's certainly
But-
not.
I like
That's
to-
not a bad question. That's
No.
like you're looking out for the people of Sanford, and a lot of people are in wheelchairs. You got kiddos, you got grandmas. They're going to be lower. That's not a dumb question at all.
But the problem is though, because
It's so hard on
we're-
themselves.
like when me and Daniel were hanging that banner, like people were sitting down in their camping chair and
Yeah,
they're
and we'd hang it right over their face. Yeah,
then
we
we
would.
hang it, and now they can't see. But
I would cut 2 eye holes
it
and a nose
discourages.
hole. You can put your nose through the hole and just
Yeah,
like peek
breathe.
through. It's a mask.
But then it discourages people from sitting, and then it causes a more of a standing around type of feel.
So you're saying don't put it out?
No, which maybe we want to put it up head height so that people are forced to stand, because that gives a better environment for the racetrack.
What do you think, Paul?
Because if people are
So-
sitting and then people are standing far back, I don't know.
That's a good question.
That's
And
why it keeps me up at night because I go back and forth. I'm like, do you encourage people sitting around the racetrack or standing? Because I learned from some b-boys.
What about
this
like
weekend.
a squat?
Huh?
What about like a squat?
Well, I'm just saying, they bring their camping chairs early because they want the best spot,
Right.
and then I'm hanging the banner right at head
I'll tell
height.
you what if you did some parts one way and some parts the other?
Okay, some low, some high.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah.
That
All
way,
right.
But
that
then it
way when
doesn't-
people
you
got
look
there, they could
uniform.
see what they're up against. So they go, "Oh, we should put our chair here because this obviously I can see."
It's
but
a
over
low
there,
center.
that's a standing spot.
Okay. All right. I
You
like
guys
that.
Okay.
sound like you are higher than I am.
But that
And
brings
I
up an
think that's
interesting
possible.
question because at the Avett Brothers, I was enjoying it because everybody was sitting down. I was like, "This is a very intimate show. Everybody's sitting down." And then this lady in front of me says, "Everyone's about to get mad at me," and she stands up and she starts dancing, and I'm like. And then everybody starts standing up, and you're like,
Well, she called it.
"Why did you ruin it,
I'm
lady?"
gonna make
Everybody
you
was
mad.
having a
Look
great
at what I'm doing.
adult time sitting down listening to an intimate show, and you're up here just like raging out because you just got done teaching school earlier.
I have to dance when I smoke cigarettes. I have to do it.
You should be able to pour a cup of urine on her.
Yeah.
Just to be like,
Yeah.
why? Because
I think you should
What
be
about
allowed
straight
to,
from the tap?
you should be allowed to reach in your pocket and pull out a pair of concert-approved pliers and just yank one of their center teeth out. They're right out. Yeah, just like that's what you get now.
This is what
How do you
spitballs
think
are
I
for
feel,
right here.
Paul? As a man who's 5'2", and I've been to a ton of concerts because I love music and I'm a
See what you
musician.
did? You brought
How do
up
you
old
think I
stuff.
feel? Like even at sitting shows, sometimes everyone sits and I have to be like, I'm Zacchaeus, the wee little man from the Bible. Sometimes I have to get in a tree.
Do
And
that
to
little
wa-
thing where you just kick the back of their knee and sits them down.
No,
Lawn chair.
they don't like that. They get very angry.
So I know that last year's winner, I believe, and maybe the year before,
Of Sofa and Sons.
Sofas and Suds, it was a CrossFit Exalted team.
They are coming
There
back.
again.
And,
Yeah,
and they're
here
coming
again.
back. And so, and they're kind of, you know.
I don't even know what
getting-
exalted means, but I think it means like, it makes me feel like it means like you're delivered to God.
Hey, we're just happy they're joined the competition.
Oh yeah. But I'm gonna razz their name.
These
That's
guys
part-
all are they
You're
all,
on video, Tom.
are they all
You meant those faces.
what faces?
They can see you.
Are they all
We're
are they
just
all
happy they're here, Dad. Come on, man.
are they all jacked up or what? These people.
Well, because they are CrossFit guys,
So
that's
they're all-
probably
they're all
why.
fat.
And
Yeah.
then I thought,
I actually used to go to that CrossFit gym.
oh really?
Yeah.
Jesus
they're nice
there?
guys, but those
They're
dudes
into
are
it.
like, they're in shape,
They're into it.
And maybe this is more a question for Mike Smith because he is kind of the the grandfather of Sofas and Suds. He's the
You
judge.
could have said Grand Marshal instead of What are you doing? He's the grandfather. I mean, he's definitely he's the elder statesman.
So I thought to myself, if we're up against CrossFit, should I, substitute someone from the Tom and Dan couch and get beyond and be a pusher
Oh,
because
yeah,
I've
you
been
definitely
training.
should. You definitely should.
And if anybody's gonna have a chance to beat CrossFit,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be
It's-
me.
yeah.
You should absolutely make it a cameo.
Yeah. Well,
You
you've
have
been
to.
sprinting, right? Like that's kind of how you run, right? Like you're a sprinter. You're fast.
No,
You're quick.
it's more of a long distance old man jog, but
Okay.
still I got a little fast.
Well,
in
you
me.
have the ultimate endurance.
I was playing Capture the Football this morning, and I was smoking middle school kids.
Oh, I thought you were smoking by I was smoking by my truck and telling the kids about Gravedigger. It would be funny though, right? You're sitting by your truck and the kids come up and you're like, all right, boys.
I thought about giving a speech and to tell me if I should not embarrass my sons, but I thought about giving.
What's your speech going to be about?
Well, I thought about giving the speech to the kids. Like I started coming here a year ago, and
Yeah.
I couldn't even run a half a mile.
But look at me now.
And now I'm doing.
I'm Castleberry Jelly Roll. I've lost 100 pounds. And I eat my boogers. Did you guys know that Jelly Roll eats his boogers?
Is that what he said? He said
No,
that
Tom, there's video.
of him just eating.
There's
boogers?
video.
My daughter eats her boogers.
No,
her and her
come on.
friend eat her boogers together.
Yeah, but
and
that's
I
your
tell
daughter.
them,
She's
this
a
is
baby.
disgusting. And they say, no, it's not. I'm like,
Yeah, well, apparently
Okay.
even Bunny, Jelly Roll's wife, is defending him.
For eating his
Saying,
boogers?
because people said, this is her answer. They said, why did he eat his booger? And she said, because he can, mother effer.
No, yeah.
You guys are just trash people. You eat your boogers?
there's a lot of stuff I can do that I shouldn't. though.
Yeah. Yeah, you start just whapping it, and it's, like you can do anything.
Do you want to see the
crazy.
video?
Yeah.
Do you wanna see it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Some people.
Oh, dude, it's real.
Some people pick
No.
their nose and then they touch their mouth, and you're like, he ate his boogers. He
I
didn't
don't.
really eat it.
The whole jelly roll thing. I don't understand the allure. I really don't.
Okay, everybody, a bunch of people look at them and they're like, we've had him in here. And he's so nice. He's like the
I bet.
nicest
It's an
human.
underdog story.
Yeah, you want to
know.
root for him. But this
I think-
is a video. Okay, this is from UFC. I'm gonna put this up so everybody can see it too.
I do feel a little
there's
bit
the
bad
video.
for like celebrities. Just they're videotaping them at all time, waiting for anything.
You're at
Yeah,
a
but-
UFC fight. You're in the middle of
Okay,
a bunch of people.
if you videoed me, you're gonna catch me picking my boogers because I'm gonna be honest with you. I
Okay.
love picking my boogers, but I've never eaten my boogers. I don't eat my boogers.
yeah,
and
no,
his
no.
wife is
I
just fine
think
with it.
I think
yeah.
a lot of people
Yeah.
pick their nose.
Oh yeah, it feels great. It's also like sometimes
When you
going
got something in there, you
Yeah.
just pick it out.
All
Your
right,
whatever.
finger's the perfect size. It's the perfect tool.
All right, okay, here we go.
I'm broke enough, and my wife is hot enough for me to not eat my boogers.
yeah, very good. Okay, here we go.
Uh,
There he
yeah,
is. He's
booger,
picking it. He's
booger.
picking it. He's picking it. He's picking it. He's in there with the thumb. He rolls,
no.
rolls,
Oh, no.
rolls
And
in
he
the
eats
mouth.
it.
In the mouth.
Why?
In the
Why?
mouth. In the mouth. both.
That
Oh
is a-
my God!
I felt like I was in my car just now looking at someone in traffic.
Oh,
I don't even know if I can
fantastic.
play that. I don't even know if I can play that. It's
That-
the most gratuitous booger eating I've ever
yeah,
seen.
So heavy. Why
Jelly
would
roll.
you-
We've been canceling people for the
No.
wrong thing.
Can you tell me something?
This guy needs to be canceled.
What's the deal with the roll up? Why do,
It's a big ass booger. He's a big man. I
know,
bet his
but his
boogers are
mouth's
bigger than most
huge.
people's.
But when you roll it, that's for throwing on the ground.
Yeah.
You know,
Rolling is
like,
for throwing,
yeah.
absolutely.
So
It's the grossest thing I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
yeah, that's-
Somebody put it in the chat room.
on.
I think Samantha covered it this morning on
That's
Sipping with
pukable.
Sammy. Ryan in our chat room.
That's embarrassing.
It is. He should be canceled for that.
yeah. That'll ruin his career, I think.
It should ruin his career. That's absolutely.
Hey,
you were
guys,
on
guys,
stage.
he's
you were-
working on building up his immune system.
You were on stage with. You were literally on stage. That's going to be our guest.
okay.
You want to get him?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take him. We do. We have a comedian calling in. This will be
Oh, sweet.
Bob Zany, legendary Bob Zany. This guy was on the Gong Show. You got to hit number
Oh,
one.
nice.
No, I did. It just hung up as soon as I
It's ringing right now.
Oh,
That means you're hitting the wrong.
no. Okay, I got it.
Oh, that booger eating so gross. I can't stop
Yeah,
thinking
it's so
about
bad.
it.
Okay, yeah, we're running it loose today. So Bob Zany is a legendary comedian. He was on the Gong Show when he was 15 years old.
Oh, really?
Like back in the 70s, and he's still doing it. He's Bob and Tom. He's been on the Tonight Show. What else has he been on? Jerry Lewis Telethon. So he's like performed in a lot of places
All right.
that I haven't seen.
We're just gonna do it a different segment.
Oh, okay. All right. He's gonna call back.
No, he's on hold though.
Oh, okay. I was gonna keep rolling and just split it.
Well, yeah. I guess we. Well, but this has got to be
Yeah,
on
no,
Thursday.
I understand.
Yeah. Anyway, so
We'll come back with that. At least we got him on the line.
Dom, Paul, it's the Sanford Purge Weekend, Bad at Business Beer Fest,
Ooh.
Sofa and Suds.
Closing argument, though.
Yeah.
There are limited VIP tickets left.
Limited.
Okay.
That's a
So real
thing
limited.
that we have to. Seriously, I think there's maybe 30 left right now.
Okay.
And I think there's only like 2 golf cart VIPs left as well.
Yeah.
So if you have a golf cart down there.
Ooh, I
and
want
you
that.
can get them on the Sofa and Suds Facebook page, correct?
You can get them at
Weston-
westonvenue.com.
All right.
Yeah.
WestonVenue.com.
Yep.
Right.
Go there, and if you have any questions, show at tomadan.com. I'll get you hooked up.
All right. We will be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. This next interview, he's going to be at Porky's Comedy Club November 22nd in St. Cloud.
Yeah, sir. If you've never been to Porky's Comedy Club, go there. Give it a shot, man. In the smack dab in the middle of St. Cloud, great people, good food, and obviously great comedy.
And this comedian's been doing it for a while. On the line with us right now, Bob Zany. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing great, and I'm not sure if this is Tom or Dan.
Well,
Oh,
I mean, we all kind of blend together. I'm Dan, and that's Tom over there.
Yeah. We're two generic white dudes, so it's interchangeable.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It doesn't matter. But hey, thank you so much for being so patient with us. It's a crazy week for us because we have our Bad at Business Beer Fest, but we also know that you're going to be at Porky's, and Porky's has always been good to us. And when we saw your name come up, I kind of freaked out a little bit because we're super familiar with you. In fact, I would like to defend your 15-year-old self's joke of when you came out on the Gong Show and you said, some of you might wonder how I got the name Zany, or it's an interesting story, and then you move on, and that's a goddamn good joke, dude. It made me laugh.
Thank you. Well, you know, the beauty of that segment, that's 1977. I'd never performed in my life. And you know how you've heard of garage bands? I was a bathroom mirror comedian.
Really?
And I practiced my act in front of the mirror, and I went out and did my thing, and I was pulled off stage by a man dressed like a nun with a big net. So you guys can't hurt me.
Okay,
well,
that's exactly
Bob-
what I said. I was like, the reps that you have,
Bob.
you're impervious to anything.
Well, Bob, that's what I wanted to talk about because you come from a different generation of comedians when being a comedian and a stand-up was way harder and way more road work and way more just getting the opportunity to get up on stage
Getting
was way
in front
harder.
of people. I mean, you didn't even have the
Marketing.
internet.
Yeah, and then speaking of the Gong Show, you're 15 years old. I'm laughing now because
So awesome, dude.
if you've seen like America's Got Talent in 2024, they don't even let real people get up there and get X'd out.
No.
It's all actors now because America can't handle real people like going out there trying their hardest and then getting the X. But back when you did it, it was like, in the 70s, everybody's smoking, like they didn't care about the kids. Like literally someone netting you off the stage. Like people, it's insane how much of a tougher environment you grew up in, considering,
Well,
you know.
It was cooler because had I been gonged, I wouldn't have gotten paid. I got paid $125.98 and a waffle iron, and my parents were really angry because we were a pancake family.
But it is cool that, like, when you did that, I mean, did you have to discuss with your folks or with your friends? How did you make it your way to the Gong Show? I mean, it's weird that you wouldn't think, I don't think many shows would humiliate a child, right? Like, they're not going to do that these days.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. I just decided I wanted to be a comedian, and I thought that might be the avenue to go. My dad had to take me to the Gong Show because I needed a parent or guardian, and I wasn't really sure which he was. But anyway, the beauty of the Gong Show was that it's in the opening salvo of my documentary, Close But No Cigar. It opens up, and, we played it in theaters across America. And I'll sit in the audience and I watch it, and it's surreal. It's like, is that really me? Did that really happen?
Yeah.
Or is that AI in 1977?
Right. No, you're right.
So, Bob, let's talk about the documentary Close But No Cigar, and it kind of chronicles your 30-plus years of stand-up comedy. Let's just talk about some of the highest times of your career, some of the lowest times, and just the overall mentality to grind this long.
Well, first, I didn't plan well, gentlemen, so I have to keep working. But the second part is, like, I came from the school of thought that, all the people I started out with, a lot of them became big stars. I mean, when I was 17, I was at the Comedy Store on open mic night, and I was working with people like Mike Binder, and you could just go down the line of all the people who went up and made it big, and now I'm here on your show. But the point is, no, but it does chronicle that. But when there was no real reward too back then. It's 79. Maybe you did the Playboy Club, you played the Comedy Store, the Improv, and you had to be a really good comic to open for someone in Vegas, and that was pretty much it. I mean, one or two people. Jimmy Walker, who's a good friend of mine. You know J.J. Walker, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be there at Porky's very soon too. I think for New Year's.
That's why I'm calling in to promote his New Year's show. Forget about me. But no. By the way, him and I work together sometimes, and we call it ebony and irony.
I like that. I like
Is that nice?
Yeah, it's.
I'm always thinking, and yet I'm sitting in a rent-a-car by a sign that says "dead end." Is that the sign I've been looking for?
That's it.
But you've done comedy. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, you've done some of the most unique appearances that probably won't come around again. Like, let's say The Tonight Show, when it was The Tonight Show, I'm using air quotes, or Jerry Lewis Telethon. Like I have relatives that play, music in Las Vegas, so I'm familiar with the telethon. How did you get to be on that? Because, like, these are you're performing for things that aren't going to be around anymore. It's really historical almost.
Well, I did that for 17 years, and about 9 of them I co-hosted with awesome. People like Tom Bergeron, Casey Kasem, Norm Crosby, Ed McMahon. Every year would come out on the telethon and stand there and be my sidekick when I did my stand-up set. And so for 9 minutes of my life, I got to be Johnny Carson, because Ed would go, "And what was that, Bob?" And we did sketches together. I always try to do something new and different each time. One year, I had the director interrupt my set and said, "Bob, we put a best of tape together. Do you mind if we show it?" And I said, "Sure, go ahead." And they show it, and I said, "I'm not in it." He says, "Yeah, it's a best of."
Yeah, I like that. I love all of these bits, man. I'm here for it. But like also like the Tonight Show, you're doing the Tonight Show when it was still the Tonight Show, meaning it wasn't just little viral clips that were cut up and turned into, tiny files and scattered all over TikTok and Instagram. I mean, you were doing it when people like really tuned in to see the latest and greatest comedians that, they're breaking. So how was the vibe? I mean, like.
Well, the interesting thing is I got real close to doing it with Johnny 6 months before they were going to go off the air. Ed McMahon called me up because I was doing Star Search. He said, "Bob, I want to get you on the Tonight Show." And he sent over a messenger to get a tape, which he did back then. And, I didn't get on only because everybody in the world wanted to be on. So I ended up doing it with Jay. And Jay Leno, and Robert Urich. I don't know if you remember Robert from Vegas,
Yeah.
the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like a hero of mine. I got to do it with him and Christy Brinkley. In fact, during my set, I mean, I was so ready to do this show, you guys. During my set, I was doing ad-libs off Jay's set, and I did an ad-lib about Christy Brinkley, which got applause breaks.
Oh, that's
But,
awesome.
you know, I learned that from being on the Jerry Lewis Telethon. They really let me, you know, it was live TV. I had no choice but to do it. So it really was a great, I don't know what teacher
Yeah,
to
but
be ready for the Tonight Show.
do you love that, though? Like, because Tom and I, you know, we host some things sometimes, and we find that it's difficult. You know, we have to think on your feet and improv, and you're so good at it. Do you enjoy the idea of getting up there and, like, co-hosting something and not knowing where you're going and then pulling it out at the end?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. In fact, there used to be this big giant script they'd give everybody for the telethon, and they would come and say, Bob Zany, and you ad-lib. They wouldn't even write anything
That's
for
awesome.
me.
Yeah, well, because they know
So
you're
that
going to
was
do it
kinda-
right. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people
So,
think.
you know, my act is that way. If they're going to come down to Porky's to check out the show, I work the crowd. Every show's different. And, you know, I have jokes, obviously, but I also like to be in the moment and work off a crowd and feed me the information and see what I can do with it.
Well, like you've also done radio. I mean, with Bob and Tom, and the fact that, and that's really where I kind of heard your name the most is through your appearances on shows. Like, I mean, how long have you been appearing on their show?
Well, I did it 17 years every Tuesday, and now I do it like 4 times a year.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I still go in or I call in. And I do the Zany Report. I have like 25 stations I call every week still across the country, even Alaska. I mean,
That's
so
killer, man.
I do this. Yeah, and, you know, I could do a quick Zany Report for you guys if you want.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I love the Zany Report. I love these. Okay, great.
Okay, ask me another question while I find it on my phone, okay?
Okay.
All right, yeah. Well,
Well, we could plug. We could take this opportunity to tell everybody to get the tickets, which
Yeah.
I think is probably the
Yeah,
the greatest thing we could do is to plug. You go to Porky's, you can get yourself some food, make a night of it, and go see some wonderful shows.
Yep.
Porky'sComedyClub.com.
Yep, November 22nd.
There you go. Bob Zany.
At 23rd.
And
Both
23rd.
nights.
Okay.
2 nights, guys.
2 nights. How many shows you got there, Bob?
I'm not sure. That's a great question. I wish I paid more attention to some of this stuff.
It's fine. No,
Sounds like
it's totally
it sounds
fine.
like you're more on top of my career than I am.
Well, I mean,
Well,
Let's
you're
get right
so-
to it, you guys.
You're such a pro. You're just like, tell me where to go and give me a mic and I'm going.
and I'll do it. I'm
Uh,
Bob Zany, goddammit.
Hey, let's get to the Zany Report, an exclusive feature now here on the Corporate Show.
I love
Is that the title of the show, The Corporate Show?
A corporate time with Tom and Dan.
Oh, Corporate Time. I guess DBA was taken. Okay, first up, Whoopi Goldberg said because of the election of Donald Trump, she will no longer have sex with men. Whoopi, on behalf of all men everywhere, thank you.
Yes!
I love it.
Whoopi claims she was denied service at a bakery because of her political views. The owner said that's not true. It's because it was all-you-can-eat muffin day.
Yes!
She really has sworn off men.
Muffin!
I love a good muffin joke.
Good news, bad news. Here's the bad news, you guys.
okay.
A Norwegian fisherman caught a U.S. nuclear-powered submarine. The good news, they threw it back because they were at their nuclear-powered submarine limit for the month.
I love it.
A fishing
Now,
joke!
This is a little feature. I have been doing this. I started out at KLOS in Los Angeles in the early 80s. I
Yeah.
had my own radio show, and I'd call in to Fraser Smith in the mornings and then Shauna. So I've been doing the Zany Report that long. So I go back in time and revisit a past joke. So you guys just hang on. I'm going to go back in time, and you guys are going to join me. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, it worked. It's April 5th, 2011. Costco now is selling wedding dresses. The most overheard comment, does this dress make my ass look bulk in this?
Yes!
Bulk.
Bulk. He says bulk again. I love it.
And there it is. There's the Zany Report. Go to Bob Zany.
I love
Bob.
it. Bob, thank you so much, man. Get your tickets. Go see Bob at Porky's. And hopefully one time we'll get you in here in person. And I'm sorry again for all the scheduling conflicts we had, man.
Don't worry about it.
we're-
I roll with the punches. But you guys, also my Dry Bar comedy special along with my stand-up clips at my official Bob Zany channel on YouTube, I have over 36 million views across all social media platforms. So if they want to check out a really great special, I've had people standing in line at my shows watching me on their phone before they go see me live.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I love it.
Because Bob, and I'm starting to understand, there's certain people in this world that Bob's personality is what you see on stage.
Yeah, he's just a funny person.
He's a naturally funny person, and he will. I think people think sometimes like,
our chat room loves him. They want us to find out how we can subscribe to a Zany report.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got to tuck a little money in the old Zany.
Well, we could talk about it. I would love to call in every week with a Zany report for you guys. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. We need stuff like that on our radio show.
You can get a cameo.
Well, Dan
Bob
has my email.
Yeah, I got
Dan has my email, and it's really great because it says Daniel, and that's my nephew's name. So I actually like that nephew. You guys are the best, baby.
All right,
Bob.
man. Take care, Bob. See you, man. That is Bob Zany, that's a real pro.
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, that man don't need his boogers.
So
Jelly roll.
I've met people like this throughout my career, right? And I'll explain where because it's a lot of comedians and actors and other, they'll have a like on stage personality. And the radios too, like this, like they'll be away on stage when they're presenting or they're doing their bit, and they'll be different off stage.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then there every once in a while you run across someone that you're like, this guy. It's kind of like Jeff Howe. Like when you talk to Jeff Howe, he's doing the same things he'll do on a show.
Yeah, there's really no difference.
Yeah, his personality's the same. And then like Bob's, and it's funny, JJ Walker's kind of like this. And then also, who's the guy from Police Academy does the voice or the sound effects?
Michael Winslow.
Michael Winslow. Not that he's anything like Bob, but Michael Winslow, I remember when he came to the radio station, I was like,
he
hey,
can't
Michael.
stop.
He's doing the sounds in the green room.
I
like,
went to get him a
like,
coffee. Like we walk over, or we're talking in the, or maybe I was with you, and then he was like, we were around food, and he's like, bologna. Oh, yeah, this sounds great. I'm like, come on, man. And we're off the air.
Yeah, but that's what he does.
Yeah.
And there's like Bob only tells jokes and always has one-liners, and think about how long since he was 15 years old, and before that he was practicing, and like he's been doing this and been like,
he might have the most jokes of anybody on the planet.
For 30 plus 40 years, like he's
been doing Zany report one-liners. They're just one-liners. And I love I love it. It's like kind of the comedy that I grew up on as a kid, and there is an art form to it, and not everybody can do it. And he just texted us now thanking us. What a good dude. But yeah, I like that. I like all the different styles, and sometimes these old timers are the most fun to talk about, because he did say something did you pick up on when he said now he was talking about doing comedy and how there's less value, it seems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's seen an evolution of it.
Yeah,
he's seen his own career.
Imagine doing a joke on the Tonight Show for Jay Leno in 88.
Yeah.
And like that joke's value.
Yeah.
Because there's very limited internet or any internet. I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah.
That joke's value is huge.
Yeah. And now it's just all throwaway. It's like AI and every other like podcast. It's all throwaway.
It's all throwaway.
Everything, because there's too much. And you're right. And it does make me sad, because like this generation of comics that grew up this way and then like went through the system of stand-up comedians in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, complete, like and that generation is retiring, not doing it anymore. Like Bob's 65, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you could tell like he's driving down a rent-a-car doing stand-up comedy at Porky's. That's who he is. That's what he does.
He obviously enjoys it. He had a connection flight, to get there. I mean, the guy's working his ass off to get to you.
Yeah, but that's what he does.
I'd like to see him.
And it's like it's cool to see someone not jaded by what you do. because after that long.
Yeah.
You know, because you get jaded.
He enjoys it.
You get jaded by the entertainment industry. Like, obviously, his documentary is called Close But No Cigar. So it's like he's making a kind of a joke about, like, he never, I guess, got to the next echelon of success or
Right.
whatever.
I mean, right there, right?
But what is that? Is just because then some people don't even want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you start doing movies and stuff. Back in his day, like, you'd have to start becoming
Probably a
mainstream
sitcom of some.
sitcoms
Yeah.
and movies and
Yeah.
stuff. And like, if you're like, I just want to do stand up, but there back then it was like, well, you can't make any money just doing stand up.
No.
You got to do sitcoms and movies.
Yeah, but now you can.
But now,
Yeah.
now you're Chappelle, and then everybody's,
Top
talking.
chat room says that was the same name as the Bill Clinton documentary. Comedy. That's good. I think Bob Zany would
He's
appreciate
in
that.
there. Is he-
He's Bob. Are you in?
Is he in there? He
He
doesn't know
can't get in
Twitch.
there. He don't know how to get on Twitch. Are you crazy?
Yeah. He pulled over to do that interview.
Okay, now I love
He's
giving.
like, I'm on the side of the road. He told me. Oh, sorry, Bob. He's like, I have to pull over. I gotta
Yeah.
get my.
Did you hear him at the end? He's looking for a Zany report. 18-wheeler going by. I will say that yesterday, because I like giving the listeners the backstory. Yesterday we were supposed to have him on, but we were in the middle of doing a client interview, and then we had some other stuff we were doing. Now, you tell me if I did wrong or not. He was calling while we were doing the show, but I'm a bit of a spaz, right? I freak out. And I'm an anxiety guy. So I knew yesterday when he was calling in, I was like, oh no, I double booked. I knew I'd messed up, right?
And you
But
realized it when it was happening.
When it was
Yeah.
happening. But I use that as I've been using some things as like tools outside of my comfort zone. So I knew that was happening. I knew there was nothing I could do because I was doing the show with you and Mo and Bustecker was here. And
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So I'm just going through the show. Would you rather me go, oh no, that's Bob Zany calling in the middle and say, oh, that's him calling, we double booked? Would you rather me stop it? Or would you rather me I just tried to stay calm. I just did the show like normal. And then I knew I was going to have to go back later and apologize to him and say, like, I did that. I messed you up. I'm sorry about that, Bob.
Hard to go back and say what, because there's two different things. You stop, like, well, first, Mo is one of our biggest sponsors, so you don't
I
want to be
didn't
like
want him to feel like he
like
was.
they were taking
Yeah.
his segment to do another thing.
Yeah.
But then it could have been hilarious if
Right.
it all crumbled, because that's
I
what
do like it when it crumbles.
our listeners, they want the show to fail. They want the hula spirit. They
do want the hula spirit.
They want who was the other one that awkward moments, things
I'm
falling
sure they
apart.
love Tom Rhodes. And that took years off my life. That show.
Yeah, there's other, so
The Barbershop Quartet was in here and almost dying. They love that kind of stuff. When it's all going haywire, they love that. When you couldn't turn off the computer and Savannah Solos talk, they love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. People want to see it fail. But it is the end of that era of comedian, and and how he got to where he is just the reps and the clubs and the grind of that guy's career.
But he's
is
seen
insane.
some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, and he's immune to it. Like this person is not sensitive in any way.
No.
He's not going to have any sort of freak out. Is just it's the same generation as that worked for 25 years
When do you stop?
at the factory.
Oh, you can't.
I was going to ask him that, but I find that a
That's
little bit
also
insulting.
yeah.
When you're like, when do you think about retiring? I'm sure he thought about it, but a lot of people are like, what am I going to do? And that's the thing about retirement is, you get to a certain age, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm at retirement age, but I still feel like I want to do this. I don't want to, you want to retire. You dream about retiring when you're 40 and thinking about doing nothing because you're busy. And then when you're 65 and things slow down and your kids are gone and you're just like, well, I don't want to retire. What the hell am I going to do?
Who's the youngest person to retire?
Well, retirement, I guess it means a lot of different things, and we associate it as just sitting on a beach
It
and
meant
doing
like
nothing.
death to my father, though.
Yeah.
Like it was not good for him.
But you just focus your energy on something else, but basically not making money anymore.
Right.
And that's kind of like, so, if you retire, you're just like, oh, okay, I'm going to do these things, all my hobbies or whatever the hell I want, instead of focusing on, making my
Felipe
bills.
Esparza. That was the other
Oh,
one you
yeah,
were
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of.
yeah.
The chat room checking in with their dream interview for us would be Ted Nugent's wife plus Grandma from MASH. Who was that Grandma from MASH?
Hot Lips.
Tilda Swinton, is that her name?
Yeah.
Hula Brett, and Moon Men from Mars all in one day.
All right.
I think you could do the Moon Men now.
Yeah.
I think you'd be fine with Moon Men now. You know what's made you? What's prepared you for Moon Men from Mars? Ram Davesy. Ram Davesy has prepared you.
You're right.
Like Ram got in here and he started muscling you around, and now you're.
I was nervous of Ram when Ross told me about the whole thing. I'm like, I don't know. Then
now
I was
you're
like,
fine.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know how this is supposed to gonna go. I don't know. I still
don't know how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Like I don't even. I don't know if anybody.
Now,
wants
do the listeners know that so far we have Ram Davesy, then we have Saul Tampano, and we do have one more Skippy. Tom's intern, and the Skippy episode has been shelved.
We should release that.
Per the request of Ross McCoy, and I promised him that I would not release it. He'd have to give the words to release Skippy, Tom's intern.
Even Ross does not care.
It's in the vault.
He does not care what we do.
I'm keeping it in the vault.
All right, we will see you tomorrow.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So you were talking about kids during the break. I saw a story of a lady that got arrested. I don't know where she was from, in Georgia or something. She got arrested for letting her 10-year-old walk maybe home from school.
Oh, no, I do that.
Place. And it was far. It wasn't like you're in front of the school, but this was like the kid had to walk through the city or whatever. Someone called and like there's a kid walking through the city, and the cops picked him up, took him to his house, then arrested the mom. And I thought that was weird.
That is
because
weird.
10 years old, I thought was an age where
you get a little bit of independence.
First, I don't think I would call the cops if I saw a 10-year-old walking down the street. I would think that this person knows what.
I don't
10
know
years
what
old
the,
is.
I don't know what
old enough to know what you're doing.
I don't know what the cutoff is. I saw a post this morning from some guy being ultra paranoid, and he said like, "Don't let your 15-year-old daughters out because all it takes is a bag and a van, and they're gone." I'm like, I was like, I don't think.
That doesn't happen.
I don't think it does.
To the level of where people are paranoid about it.
What are the ages do you think most? I think most parents are like right around the 10-year-old mark is when they get double digits, you start thinking about giving them a little bit of independence, right?
Yeah.
Like you can stay here at the house alone while we run up to the liquor store.
Yeah, for sure.
At the house. I did use liquor store as the correct store.
But my buddy let his kids. He lives next, like a couple blocks from a movie theater. Like there's a little shopping center with a movie theater in it. He let his kids go and watch a movie from the house. Like he let them walk to the movie, and his kids were like 8, 9 at the time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's a small beach town and stuff like. So it's weird though.
Different for everybody. Different on the area you live in.
Yeah. But
most people in the chat room are winging around the age of 12.
That's kind of what they say, but it's based on how, independent and
where you live too. If you lived downtown Beirut, you're not going to let your kid walk.
Yeah, but Maisie, like, if someone asked me,
she already walked to Five Guys and got a burger for herself and fries.
Yeah, okay. If someone said
and paid, and she ordered it, paid, gave the guy their change, put it in the bag, and then walked home.
If someone offered me,
she's not.
Say a genie came down and offered me $1 million.
Wait a minute, you are the gift bag genie.
and the genie's like, "I'll give you $1 million." Is
it a girl, like a hot girl genie, or is it a traditional big black, like buff muscle genie?
It's blue Will Smith.
Oh, I love blue Will Smith.
Yeah.
And he slaps your face. I'm like, get him. Keep my genie out of your mouth.
And the genie tells me, "I'll give you $1 million if you could find one 9-year-old." To from their house, get an Uber to the airport. In the airport, buy a ticket to Kansas City,
and get on the plane.
Go to Kansas City, Uber to the stadium, to Arrowhead, watch a game, right? Have to eat there or whatever. Then Uber back take the red eye back to Orlando. I would get onto my knees to Maisie and I'd be like, all right, Maisie, you can do this. We'll go over the plan.
You know why she can do it? Because that's what Andrea used to do as a young girl.
I know.
In the blood, dude.
I know.
Andrea used to navigate concerts on her own. So we tested it last weekend. Maisie was begging us to let her walk to Five Guys. She loves hamburger. She loves a 3-patty hamburger because she's just
2 blocks down the street.
And she was like, "Can I get my money and walk to Five Guys and order hamburgers and fries?" And we're like, "Yeah, you can." So she got her money, and she has a little watch, and we can, I also did make her carry an Apple Tag.
Okay.
So I could follow her, but we let her do it. She did it, and she was fine. She went
of
there,
course.
she ordered from the man, she got her food, she waited, she walked home, ate her burger.
Yeah. And so
She could do it though, 100% she could do it.
Yeah. I mean, we forget all the time as a society that, and it's funny because they teach it in school, or they go on these field trips to St. Augustine, and like at 8 years old, I know this is hundreds of years ago, but when you turned 8, you started helping with bring the gunpowder from the gunpowder storage up to the top for the cannons. So like you were put to work, and then a lot of kids were deaf from the cannon fire and gunfire because
collateral damage.
Yeah, because they were put to work at 8 and 10 years old or whatever. Like
that's a tough life. 8-year-old deaf from cannon fire. That's tough. That's a tough life.
Because it was tough.
Yeah. So when everybody was dying bed all day on Roblox. Literally, it's like the coziest, nicest life of all.
So pre-penicillin, everybody you just died at 30 to 40.
Your teeth fell out.
Yeah, or you rotted. You died of an infection. You got cut on a cannon and you're dead. And that's a life. So at 10 years old, 1/3 of your life is up. So of course you're getting to work as soon as you can.
100%. But I'm glad that I know that your kids are pretty independent. They can do their own thing. I know Maisie's independent. She can do her own thing. Well, just being left alone. They know what to do. They know their way around. Like good and bad. I think.
Well,
for the most part.
But it's also like when I leave my kids, they're just on a device looking at it. And I'm sure most parents have that same reality. It's like, I could come home a day and a half later.
I had a TV.
Yeah.
But most of the time, as soon as my parents left, I would go straight to my dad's adult movie stash, or I'd start playing with fire.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's what I would do.
But it also helps me because there's 2 of them. So it may be a little different if we only had 1 kid. I know Crystal would be way more nervous. I'm not nervous about anything really.
Well, you gotta back up.
But since there's 2 of them, I feel like they'd help each other if one of them need help. Yeah. My irrational fear has always been choking. Like even when they were young, like leaving them by themselves. Like what if you choke on something? Even though in my entire adult life, I've never seen someone actually choke to the point where they needed some Heimlich or something. I've never seen it
once. I've only done it once.
Yeah,
it was bonefish.
Yeah. It's the old, Groundhog's Day where someone's grabbing the thing.
No, it was just like we didn't even know what had happened. It wasn't anybody grabbing. It was like it happened at another table, and the person just did it. And then we realized after the fact. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no.
You just heard about it, like someone choked in the Heimlich.
Like you hear it, then you look over there, everything's fine, and then you're like, oh, okay. But I wasn't. I've never seen somebody waving. I've never done it. I don't even know how to do it. I'd probably start giving them CPR and kill them. You know what I mean? Like I break their sternum, I start blowing in their mouth.
You just grab their their stomach so that air shoots out.
I thought you were supposed to, especially for bigger people, like let's say Jelly Roll was choking on one of his boogers. You would lean him over a table and you'd boof his ass into the table.
I think that's for big boys.
For big boys, yeah. For a big boy.
You can't get your arms around their waist.
Yeah.
Then you have to boof them on the table.
You have to boof them on the table.
Yeah. That's just physics.
Yeah. You got to give them the Heimlich. Okay. I got some voicemails we need to catch up on.
Yeah.
We've had the most polarizing guest we've ever had appeared on the show last week. Multitude of emails, multitude of voicemails. People really, really, really enjoy Hula Brat and the Aloha Spirit. We're just going to go through a couple of these.
So I don't know if the point of your job Wednesday that you had with Brett Bowl to go to the Hula Bowl works, because after that interview, after screaming at the top of my lungs inside my vehicle for him to stop, and I won't even look at any advertise. If I was at Publix and saw something Hula Bowl, I would make sure to not buy that now.
Okay, that was the first one we got. We got some people that
okay.
were like, we hate you, Hula Brett. But Hula Brett, I believe, knows that his message is, it's a little polarizing. And so we have this one.
Tom, Dan, PD, and Mike. Can we make Ohio Brett a weekly segment
See?
for God and football?
For God and country and football. You messed it up. So we got the guy that hated Hula Brett, then we got a guy that loves Hula Brett.
And very polarizing.
Let's go to another one. This is the third one. We got a third Hula Brett.
Hey, Tom and Dan. It is Javen Claw here from Orlando. I was just listening to Promotional Terminator, and I was so interested to see where this was going. And for a second, I was like, wait, is this Tunnel doing some sort of crazy thing?
Okay, now I'm glad I played this one. That is the number one thing we got. Out of
People thought it was fake?
Out of all the emails, out of all the voicemails, and I can't play them all, the number one thing people said was this was fake. We set this up because they didn't understand why we seemed like off guard, and we were. He got us. He got us bigger than this. Okay, he got us.
We got comfortable.
He's my kryptonite, and I didn't know. I flailed. I drowned. It was one of my worst showings. I didn't know what to do. He had me on the ropes. He gave me a little God and Country. He gave me a little tape the ankles. He threw in the Christianity. He threw in
We just weren't prepared.
We weren't prepared.
We were caught off guard.
He hit me with everything.
Because I thought that he was going to settle down.
He never settled down.
Yeah.
He ramped up.
I thought that he would realize, like, oh, okay, you have more than just a 5-minute hit. This is not a news station. I can do. They just want to have a conversation. So I thought that he would do his promo thing, and then once he realized this was just going to be a conversation, it would stop. But then when it didn't stop, it threw us off, and then we were like, oh, and
I
then
didn't know what to do.
We got some snarts, and we're like, oh, this will get him, and then he completely blew past snarts.
Yeah, he was like, oh, snarts, that's amateur hour. He's like, this is Bush League, boys, Bush League.
And then he brought in God and Country, and then, oh, God.
Then he started sprinkling.
I started shuffling my papers.
He started sprinkling the Aloha spirit on everything. Then you guys in the chat room started Googling his background. Then some of you said that he was at January 6th, that he was charging the cap. Like, I'm like, what the F is happening? You and I are looking at each other. We got to get this guy off our line. He could be a domestic terrorist. We don't even know.
Anyway. Hula Bowl. And I imagine that he hung up the phone and went about his business and never thought about us again.
I would like
because that's what the Promotional Terminator does.
Yeah, he just closes out the browser and then he goes, he does another bite of his egg sandwich.
Yeah. And then he may do a couple other call-ins. Some others, some sponsors need Hula Brett to call in and give him a pep talk.
If you're asking me, will he appear on the show ever again? The answer is undoubtedly yes. Yes, he will.
If we ask him to, he'll do anything.
Do you want a rematch?
Here's the thing about
Promotional Terminator versus Tom and Dan. We'll bill it like Tyson Paul. It'll be the biggest rematch they've ever had.
Promotional Terminator.
God and Country versus We Believe in Nothing, atheists.
He will never turn down promotion.
No, he can't. He's programmed to never turn it down.
No matter how bad it went. If we ask him, let's do it again, he'll be like, yes. Of course he will.
He's programmed. He cannot say no to it.
Yeah. It's like
We're
the real Terminator.
Hey, we have 3 minutes on a Tuesday. He's like, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'm already in the Zoom. I'm in the lobby. I'm in the Zoom lobby ready for you. Red as ever.
As you're lowering him into the lava, he's doing the hula spirit. It's the last thing you see is the hula spirit arms. Yeah. Which is weird because you're like, hold on, your head and your main computing system already
right?
How are you doing the hula spirit? Your brain and your computing system already been melted. You think your hand would turn off.
Okay, the chat room saying he was echoing in his room. He was shouting in, very annoying. Yes, that was my fault. Remember, I had to reset all the cameras that same week, and Zoom had like some sort of weird double audio channel on it or something. That was my fault. Brett has this, trust me, that guy has his stuff together. It ain't amateur hour with him. It's amateur hour with me. Let's try this one right here.
This is Jeremy in South Carolina. Have you guys noticed at all in recent history that it seems that fast food restaurants that are offering any kind of promotional item like, the deep fried turkey sandwich at Arby's, or, promotional shakes here and there, that every time that I've gone into them since 2020, that the availability of these items is seemingly non-existent. So they get me in with their advertising to try the latest thing for a fat slob like me to enjoy. And I go in there and the machine's broken, or they didn't get the, the right donut basket that with the characters on it, or whatever it is. Seemingly no end to promotional items just not being available in my area. Is that something that you guys are experiencing? Let me know.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy.
Well, let me explain, Jeremy, how this had happened. So 2020, there's a thing called the pandemic, and that showed the world a lot. And then everything moved to the internet, and then people are like, well, I could do things through the internet. The workforce was displaced. People left fast food because they weren't doing, there wasn't any as much money in it. A lot of companies couldn't afford to hold their employees.
A lot of young people that used to work fast food started OnlyFans.
No, it's not OnlyFans.
Oh, I follow two of the people that are at my Burger King up the street. Burger King on Colonial got some baddies.
And so once they couldn't get, now we're at the bottom of the basement when it comes to who's working at fast food places, right?
Robots.
And they said they wanted a raise, and society's like, we're not giving you more than minimum wage, because that's what we used to get paid when we were 16.
Things have to stay the same.
And so then now, and then they're like, okay. And so the people doing these jobs, I mean, let's just say they do not care, right? And so now you're like, they'll make your gorditas and like whatever the traditional, they just fall into what everybody working fast food, they just hate their lives and their jobs, and they do the bare minimum. And then you introduce some promotion that corporate has funneled down to you, where now you have to make this cheesy gordita crunch.
You got to do everything. Like I see it at 7-Eleven with the ladies. The signs on the outside, so you got to put like cinnamon crunch signs on the doors.
Yeah.
Then you got to put them on the windows. Then you got to make it. Then you got to put the signs out. Then you got to wear the special hat. Then you got to wear the pin that says "Ask me about cinnamon crunch."
So like they're like, this cinnamon crunch gordita, you need to sprinkle the cinnamon and then bake it for 2 seconds in the convection oven.
Process.
Yeah, it's a new process. And then you're telling Tom Van, I already hate, I'm a second from never showing up again. If anything else comes up, I'm never showing up here, and I fantasize about doo-dooing everywhere. You don't understand. I hate this place. I hate everything about it. I hate the smell of it. And then now you're asking me to sprinkle cinnamon on the gordita and bake it for 2 minutes? Hell no. I am not doing it. And then now the people are like, I want my cinnamon gordita. I'm like, I don't care what you want. I don't care if you tell my manager is smoking weed in the bathroom. My manager
I'm covering for him.
He is on fentanyl right now. Do you understand what's going on here? You want me to sprinkle the cinnamon on the gordita and cook it? I'm not doing it.
You just got to learn to cook. You got to learn to cook your own food.
Yeah. I'm not doing anything extra that corporate asked me to. No more. I'm doing the bare minimum, and if you ask me for more than that, that's why this is happening.
I think that's pretty accurate.
And it is Jeremy's fault and all of society for refusing to pay the fast food workers more.
No, he didn't say where he was on that. He may be pro that. He just wants these corporations to get their ass together.
Well, the corporations, I mean, obviously they're not going to elect to pay, but if the society is like, we'll pay more for the gordita so you can pay your employees more. If we're all understanding, but we don't, I'm like, I'm not paying $5 for a gordita.
No.
And it's like, okay, well then you're gonna get this anyway.
Let's go to this one right here.
Hey, Tom and Dan. Just got back from an night out with a friend. We were having chicken, and he looked up at me and said that he once heard Hulk Hogan described as having silk hair and hot dog skin. So I thought I would share.
Yeah.
Love the show.
People have said that for years. Hulk Hogan has silk hair and hot dog skin.
He still has the skullet, right?
Yeah, but he's pretty much, I think he's definitely, he's going to be running that do-rag until he hits a coffin.
Yeah.
When he goes in the coffin, he'll wear a do-rag.
That's his look.
When Terry Bollea goes in the coffin, do-rag on the top, guaranteed.
How Hulk Hogan got a lot of money from the Gawker lawsuit.
I don't know if he did.
Or maybe they paid out what, because I
The
guess
payout was supposed to be huge, but I don't know how many assets they had.
You're right. They just go on bankruptcy and then good luck ever getting it.
But he's doing fine, I'm sure. I mean, the guy's a entertainment legend, right?
I'm surprised that he is so out of the limelight. And now who knows, because everybody's in their bubble. So, wrestling fans that like old school wrestling, he's like, oh, no, he's still doing tons of appearances and stuff. He's still on Mike Calta twice a week. I have no idea.
I don't think he is. No, the last I saw, he does a lot of stuff around here in Tampa because I think he is still Tampa-based. I don't think he's wrestling anymore because I think his back is all jacked up. I think he has his beer, his Hulk Hogan All-American Lager.
He's got his Beach Shack, right?
He has his Beach Shack, which I'm sure that place is just booming.
Well, he doesn't do it when you have the Hogan's Beach Shack. Some other company just bought his rights. He doesn't do anything, right?
I mean,
he's not involved.
He'll do an appearance. Yeah, he'll sign some stuff there.
Maybe an appearance, but I'm saying
he ain't running the cash register. That's what you're saying.
No, but he's not.
That would be rad, though. You walk in there, he's like, "Hold on, I gotta get a manager, brother."
He's not involved in any decisions of the restaurant at all. Or is he? Do they even ask him?
No, they're like, here, try this. He goes, that's pretty good, brother. Yeah. And then they're like, yeah. No, I didn't know. None of those guys do, right? Like when Tracy McGrady had a restaurant in Maitland.
No.
It's like, they just put their name on it.
Shoeless,
we got to find somebody that's willing to open something and put our name on it.
We're not big enough.
I know.
You need.
What if we just lied and said, what if we just opened a taco place and called it Hulk Hogan's Tacos? Spell it. We'll spell it different. Tom and Dan's Hulk Hogan Tacos. What if we did it like that?
I wonder how different you'd have to spell it and make any sort of images.
It's a woman
to get away with.
It's a woman.
Okay,
it's a big woman.
It's Hawk.
Hawk. Her name is Hawk Hogan. Did you hear that? Here's breaking news. Somebody in the BDM group said that, and this gives me more reason to like her, and I already like her. I mean, I don't dislike her, but old Hawk Tua, Haley Welch, I think that's her name.
Okay.
She agrees with me. Squirt is pee.
No, she said it on our podcast.
She said it on her. She said it on Talk To Her. Breaking news.
I mean, are we ever gonna get to see it, or is she never gonna go that route?
She'll never go that route. No, I would see it too. I like those big teeth. This is from our Twitch chat room. Hogan hosted a big old karaoke tournament at his beach shack this past summer. His son Nick got another DUI driving home from it.
Oh, man.
God, that stings. That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
You didn't learn your lesson.
That's rough.
I
don't think I'll have to worry about that. Do you think you'll worry about that? Well, they'll be self-driving cars by then. Your boys will be hovering on home.
Oh, yeah.
When they're down at the Tom and Dad Beach Shack with you, you're hosting a Tom and Dad karaoke.
Yeah.
I'm dead. You're still there.
No, yeah, I think our kids, they're like drinking and driving. Like they may not even drink and drive once.
Because they don't like drinking and they don't like driving. They don't like either of the things that we like doing.
Like, honestly, in the 90s when I grew up, if anybody who grew up in the 90s, I would be hard to find one person that's never drank and drive. You know what I'm saying?
It was a thing.
You can definitely find hundreds of people that have drank and drive more times than they can even comprehend or count.
But I can find
hundreds of times.
But I know young people now. To go along with what you're saying on the opposite side of that, I know people that are in their 20s, early 20s, that don't drink and have never touched a drop.
Yeah, the alcohol is out of fashion.
They're not even interested in it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, that's old man. That's like old man juice.
But like drinking and driving would be insane to them. I think that would be insane.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. Like, why would you take that chance? There's so many. There's Uber. There's It's just, but
but they're all on mushrooms. All those people. They're like, I don't drink and drive. Well, yeah, because you're tripping out on mushrooms right now.
All right, let's get out of here. We will see you on Monday.